joined in studio by Bills team reporter Maddy Glab, also co-host of Bills Tonight. And, well, you know why she's here. Let's be honest. She's been here enough times this season. Now that the Bills have 14 victories, it's the Maddy Awards, presented by Energy Mark, the official energy supplier to the Buffalo Bills. Good afternoon, Maddy.
Happy to keep the streak alive. Heading into the playoffs with a win, divisional round up next. 30 points again out of our offense. So fun to watch.
Yeah. We'll kick it off as you borrow a title from, superhero comic book lore, the Iron Man Award.
Iron Man, it's going to our quarterback, Josh Allen. In the playoffs, you need solid performances out of your quarterbacks, and Josh Allen did just that. He didn't even waver when the Bills struggled to score in the red zone. The Bills were 1 for 5 in the red zone, but still found a way to put up 31 points. Allen had success against Denver's pass rush. He finished with a 135 passer rating, over 300 total yards of offense. Of course, 2 touchdowns. And in these playoff games, you need your stars to play like even bigger stars in the playoffs. Allen did that, and he looked calm. He had a calmness about him in the pocket, making passes and taking it on his own, too, when he found room. That throw that he had over to Ty Johnson on 4th and 1 was just insane. I mean, the calmness that you have to have in the pocket during a play like that is unfolding. You're going up against the best pass rush in the NFL in the Broncos, who have 63 sacks, and your offensive line is doing an incredible job of keeping them off you, so you have time to wait. Here's an open guy. Let me throw it to him in the back of the end zone. Nails Ty Johnson. I think that summed up perfectly how Allen did his job at quarterback against the Broncos.
Yeah, this was a game where, the Broncos came out of the box shooting. They knew they had to, shoot their shot, and they got that quick touchdown and kind of put the Bills on notice, and that was it. The Bills just slammed the door on them, and both offensively and defensively. They got one shot at a field goal. They did a nice job right at the end of the half getting themselves a chance to get 3 points and tie the game up. Doinked it off the upright, and they go in at halftime down 3, and then the Bills never looked back. It was all Bills all the time in the second half of this game.
Yeah, 31 unanswered points. All right, Mr. Electric Award.
Mr. Electric. When Ty Johnson enters the game at running back, something electric is going to happen. It happened yesterday on that 4th and 1 play when Johnson found a way to get open in the back of the end zone and catch a pass from Josh Allen, a touchdown pass. He had incredible body control, finding a way to catch that ball as it was heading toward the ground, and then also making sure that, hey, my body's not going out of bounds here. I thought his play was just so much fun to watch. He's way more than a third down back. He had 70 scrimmage yards in yesterday's playoff game. He's got the hair, he's got the tattoos, he's got the earrings. And those looks need to fit your play. If you're going to be a player who's out there with the big hair, with the tattoos, you got to play like it on the field. And Ty Johnson does that when he's in the game.
Yeah. And really, the role that he's carved out for himself as the team's, third down back, and all the different ways in which he's been used. That's his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. I mean, he has been an expert catcher out of the backfield.
The world would be a better place if we all had somebody to talk so nice about us as Josh Allen talks about Ty Johnson.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Next one up, Domination Station.
Domination Station. It's going to our offensive line and our running back, James Cook. They dominated this game. The storyline heading into this one was Denver's got the best pass rush. They've got 63 sacks. They're the 3rd best against the run. They allow under 100 rushing yards per game. And James Cook in the offensive line said, hold my beer because watch, this is going to happen. And James Cook goes off for more than 100 yards on the ground. The offensive line, I think, had one of their best performances of the season, giving Josh Allen the time he needed in the pocket, opening up lots of running lanes for James Cook, Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson. The O-line was in lockstep with each other yesterday. You could see that with their communication on the field. You could see that with how the pocket was clean for most of this game. Allen got sacked twice, But this was a defensive line who was averaging more than 2 sacks per game. I think the offensive line played fantastic. You're going to need that out of them going into a game against the Ravens, where the Ravens defense finished the regular season as the best run defense in the NFL, allowing about 80 rushing yards per game. The Bills finished with 210 against the third best run defense in the league.
Yeah, Denver was averaging 3.5 sacks a game, to be exact, and they only got 2 yesterday. One was a coverage sack, where Josh just hung on to the football too long. I can't remember the other one quite as well as that one. But, yeah, it was a good performance for sure, and, yeah, to run for over 200 against the number 3 run defense.
Their defensive tackle, Allen, beat David Edwards off right up the middle. That was early in the game. Yeah. That was not a coverage sack. That was a really good pass rush by a good defensive tackle, the one good play. But, yeah, the Bills' offensive line has – I think now, with this game yesterday and obviously throughout the season, is starting to get some attention from people who aren't just like us. Right?
Yeah,
so.
More than the Bills fan, for sure.
All right, from reality TV fame, the Top Chef Award.
Top Chef. I was a big fan of the show as a kid. I used to watch it all the time with my parents. I don't watch it anymore, but give some love to Top Chef here. Yeah. Top Chef Award is going to Joe Brady for the game plan that he cooked up against Denver's defense. Not an easy defense to prepare for. As we said, they ranked high in several categories coming into this game. And Joe Brady found ways to find wins against some of their strengths. I don't think a lot of us thought, hey, the Bills are going to run the ball time after time after time. They're just going to run the ball all the time against this Denver's Broncos defense that's one of the best run defenses in the league. They did exactly that. Sean McDermott spoke to media after this game, and he said the Broncos have a specific front that they use a lot. And I think Joe Brady took advantage of knowing the Broncos were going to use whatever front it was and took advantage of, hey, we're going to find wins against this front, and they did that. I also love that Joe Brady got several different players involved. It's what we saw all regular season, and it's what's going to set this team apart from others in the playoffs. Curtis Samuel is your leading receiver. Dawson Knox had some fantastic catches in there. Ty Johnson was a big player in this one. And then the fact that Brady trusts Josh Allen and Ty Johnson to do what they did on that 4th and 1 play. It was 4th and 1. The game was on the line at this point, 13-7, and they didn't just push Josh Allen over the pile for a first down. They went for the touchdown, and I think that says a lot about the trust that Brady has in his offense.
I took particular pleasure in watching Sean Payton screaming at Vance Joseph on more than one occasion on the sideline during the course of that game, because he clearly wasn't happy with the defensive performance by the Broncos in that one. The Hats Off Award is next.
Hats off. It's going to our receiver, Curtis Samuel. Samuel has had a tough season in and out of the lineup all year due to a slew of injuries, and Samuel stuck with it, put his head down, and saw the fruit of his labors yesterday. He led receivers 3 catches, 68 receiving yards, was targeted just 3 times, caught all of those targets. He had that 55-yard touchdown catch and run. That was a lot of fun to watch. And you heard his teammates talk about him after the game, saying, Samuel probably hasn't had the season that he wanted, but look at the work that he's put in when nobody has been watching, and then you see it on the field in a playoff game.
Yeah. Coach McDermott even said, he was a guy that needed to play last week against New England to kind of get back up to speed, and he finished that game as the leading receiver. He had 7 catches for 52 yards against New England. Granted, it's in a loss, and probably not a lot of people were paying attention, but I really think he needed that kind of a day to be ready for playoff football, and he clearly was.
Yeah, certainly. And the contributions that everybody got, and we went over them earlier, there were 4 5 guys who got targeted that caught every target. Samuel, Shakir, Kincaid, Knox, and Ty Johnson caught every pass that they got thrown to, and that makes for a pretty productive day for your quarterback.
Yeah.
The Bullies Award.
The Bullies, it's going to our 3rd down defense all week in preparation for the first round of the playoffs. The defense, Sean McDermott, defensive coordinator Bobby Babich, fielded questions about the 3rd down defense. What are the issues? What's going on? How can you fix it? How can you get better for the playoffs? And the players and the coaches took those questions and said, look, it's a bunch of things. We're trying to figure it out here. And they did that against the Broncos. The Broncos go 2 of 9 on third down. That's just a 22% conversion rate, far better than the defense has played all season long. Buffalo came into this game ranked 29th on third down. They were allowing more than 40% conversion rate on third down. I thought they did a fantastic job of being physical and tough on third down. They got off the field. They gave Buffalo's offense more chances to score. The second half for the Broncos went like this: 2 straight 3-and-outs, and then 2 straight turnover on downs. That is a statement that the defense made, and I love this type of performance before they go up against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, they were 0-4, 0 for 4 on third down the second half, the Broncos were.
Yeah. And that was the ball game right there in the second half. When they tried it, they had to get back in it, and they just could not do it.
Yep. Yeah. And finally, the Welcome Back Award.
Welcome back. I'm waving over to you, Matt Milano, wherever you are, because you are back. I think Milano had a great performance against the Broncos. He had that huge third down sack where he sprinted over to Bo Nix to knock him out of bounds. He had hard hits. He was aggressive. He was quick and not afraid to go after the big play. I love that we saw this out of Milano in the first round of the playoffs. It's been a build-up to him getting healthy and him putting it together on the field. I think we saw a lot of things come together for Milano on the field yesterday, and hopefully that continues in the divisional round.
Yeah, that really caught Bo Nix off guard when Milano came from nowhere. Nix is a fast dude. I talked about it all last week, and we saw it yesterday at points. He outruns a lot of defenders. And Milano closed the gap, and he was trying to get the first down, and he knew, I'm not going to make it. Milano's got the angle on me. Tried to cut it back, and Milano was agile enough to change his angle and get him out of bounds.
Nix was surprised.
Nix was really surprised that Milano closed on him, and that was the first defensive play of the game that was like, oh, okay, here we go. It was right on track.
And I think the Jets game and this game, it looks more like the Matt Milano we remember than maybe any other games this season, and that's great. To your point, Maddie, going into this Baltimore game, because if he is reading things and is confident and is triggering at top speed like we see him in these last 2 games, that bodes well for Buffalo's defense in terms of trying to slow down a Baltimore offense that's right behind Buffalo in terms of points per game.
Right.
Yeah. We're gonna need everybody on defense against this Baltimore Ravens offense. I know all of us watched the Steelers Ravens game and saw what they put together on tape. I just want to say, on one of the sports shows this morning, they were goo gaga over the fact that the Ravens put up 464 total yards of offense against the Steelers. The Bills put up 471 against the Broncos. So
there you go.
And I think you could argue that the Bills were playing a better defense than the Ravens were playing, what it's worth.
And the Ravens were at home. Both teams were at home, so,
So there it is.
There it is.
Maddie, thanks as always. Appreciate you bringing in another slew of Maddy Awards here. I got to say, I know sometimes you throw an MVP on the list every week, but, there aren't very many repeatos. You've got a lot of unique titles here every week, so I appreciate the creativity.
I come up with it during Bills Tonight when we're taking it, when we have our commercial breaks.
You guys
I'm
are
like, okay, jot
brainstorming
this down.
Yeah, I like it. So thanks again, as always.
Stuff,
Hopefully
Matt.
you're in here next Monday for another one, because that'll mean the Bills are headed to the AFC title game.
Yeah.